I hope I'm like, all right. Like I'm in a mood now. I'm just gonna sit here and drink quietly. Drink quietly. Oh, that was weird. I was like, pop, pop. Hopefully there will be no trolls in this hoe bag because I fucking hate them. Ooh. Um. Hey, Tiffany. T got me fired up, and now I'm like, ooh, I wanted to say something right quick. This camera's at a weird angle right now, so. Hey, Barry. Between T and your wife, Barry, I am fired the fuck up. I'm just gonna like there's 5 people in here, so I may as well just go ahead and start talking about it. And I'm in America, and there has never been a more like a worse time, a literal worst time for us to have employer health insurance ever. Because I've seen people who are talking about the Sephora thing as well, and a lot of people kind of allude back to the benefits portion of it. They're not mad that they got laid off. Well, that does suck. What they're actually like upset about is that they're losing their benefits. Because in America we have employer tied benefits, right? When you work for a company, they provide you benefits, and that's the symbiotic relationship we have here. It is. That is our symbiotic relationship, is that your employer provides you benefits at an affordable cost. It just comes out of your check. So you don't have to stress about it. You don't have to fucking worry about it. You just have benefits. The problem is when shit like this happens, right? People get laid off. If you get sick, you can't go to the doctor. You don't have the money for it. And that's why America is failing so much with all of this stuff that's happening. That's why America is failing so bad, because like people can't go to the doctor. We've never really been able to go to the doctor since the last time that I could go to the doctor whenever the fuck I wanted to was when I was a child and my mom was in the military. Like as soon as I hit 18, that shit was done. I hit 18, it was done. But up until that point, my mama had the ability to take me to the doctor every time I got sick, every time. And I was a sickly ass child. I was sick like every 5 minutes. I looked at sick and I got sick. You said sick, I was sick. And my mom could take me to the doctor like fucking clockwork. But now all of these people, the real reason that people always get upset about being laid off, and this is why capitalism is a horrible system, because it's working just as intended. But the problem in America is we don't actually allow it to work, right? Right. We don't allow it to work, because if we allowed capitalism to work the way it's supposed to work, then all the banks that were doing all the shit in 06 and 07, they would have failed. Because I don't know if people understand what FDIC means, but it means the federal government has insured these banks, and we would have got our money any damn way. Any damn way. We would have got our money. We would have gotten our money. If your money was in an FDIC insured bank, you would have gotten your money, and all those banks would have fallen the fuck apart. But we didn't let that happen. And this is why it kills me when people are like, we don't want socialism. And I'm like, but you literally just supported it. You just supported it the second you allowed these people to rescue those banks. You fucking supported it. You supported socialism. You supported them, like carrying them up and taking care of them and not letting them fail. That's what you did. You supported it. And now you want to turn right back around and tell people like, oh, no. We just like, this is how it has to work. Like, and here's the thing about Sephora, because I do beauty. But the thing about Sephora is I don't think people like what's really frustrating is in 06, 07, I was in real estate. I was in corporate relocation, which is an arm, a very large arm of relocation. And I survived all of these layoffs. So believe you me, I know what it's like to go through that shit. I'm old, I'm ancient, but I know what it's like to go through it. And the messed up part is people will always talk about the folks who are getting laid off and be like, this isn't cool. And everybody's upset. But what people don't understand is that phone call, the meeting that they had after they had just said, we're all in this together, it wasn't bullshit. Like I'm not defending Sephora. I'm explaining how this shit works. Literally, they were just told to go out and let everybody know that they had jobs and let everybody know that they were going to be okay and all this shit. That is what they were told to do. And so they went out and told everybody it was going to be okay. But you know what happened is somebody started crunching some numbers and said, like, we're not going to be okay. And they probably know, this shit is not going to be over by the end of this month. It's not like in May, everything's going to open. I highly doubt it. Hi, y'all. Everybody who's come in. Hi, Tree Birds. Hey, Mixed Gen YFer. What? Mixed Gen YFer? I never feel like I'm saying that right. And I think I feel like I called you Mixed Gen Effer. But anyways, oh, it's Jennifer. I'm a jackass. Don't look at me. But the thing about that was like Sephora did exactly what they were told to do. And they went and they told people that their jobs were going to be okay because that's what they were told to say. But as soon as somebody started crunching some numbers and realizing like, okay, here are our options. If this shit does not blow over by this time, we're going to be laying off a shit ton more people. This is going to get ugly. And somebody crunched those numbers and said, yeah, it is going to get ugly. Here's what we do to stem the tide. So yes, 3,000 people were laid off. They were given some packages. I don't know how good or bad they were, but they were given a little bit of a severance. But 9,000 people kept their jobs and are continuing to get paid. So we have to see both sides of that fucking argument. We cannot just slide over to one side and be like, well, I get it. But there are still 9,000 people who have a job. And what people are missing is like, Sephora is a store that people go into. And if nobody can go into the store, what do? Like the store isn't open. The store isn't making any money. Sephora is making money because people are still buying stuff online, which is fine. I'm not going to judge anybody for that shit either. But the store itself isn't. And that's problematic. And they had to figure out something to stem the tide. And unfortunately, it had to do with laying people off. That's how it works. But yeah, this is the worst possible time for us to have employer health insurance. And the real reason we have employer health insurance is because America does some dirty ass shit. And really what that is designed to do is to force all of us to continue to work for the corporate machine. All right, there's I did it. My little craziness, my conspiracy theories, that's literally what it's for. They have the insurance set up to force us to continue to work for that corporate machine, right? You can't not work for the corporate machine. Not if they're providing you your insurance. If they make insurance outside of having a regular ass job so expensive that you can't do it, then you won't. If they make having insurance or even providing it to your employees so fucking difficult for you to have that you can't do it, then they make it harder for people to start businesses. The whole thing is set up to continue to keep the rich rich and the poor poor. If you had a great idea, it's going to be very fucking difficult for you to like come up and be like, I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to do my own thing. You can't do it. They are literally trying to stifle us. They are really pushing hard to keep us as poor as they can possibly keep us without us really knowing that we're fucking poor. Like that's the point. That is the point. And it's so frustrating. And they do it all the time. And we sit back and we eat it and we lick it up, but we've got to stop because the fact that people are getting laid off and know that the real reason that they're upset is that they don't have their insurance is telling. It is fucking telling. Because somebody said that in another, I think it was actually, hi T, it was actually in your stream. Somebody had said that in her stream, I think a couple nights ago, I'm not sure, but maybe it was actually, Kinky Sweat. I can't remember which one, but they said it. They said, I'm not trying to support this because, I'm losing my insurance. That's the real reason, right? It's not because you can't get unemployment benefits. It's because you can't get health insurance. And all this shit that they're doing right now, we're all skeptical. All of us down here at the bottom, we're fucking skeptical. And the reason we're skeptical is because we know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. They're all telling us right now, like, oh, if you go to the doctor right now, you're not gonna have to worry about copays. Not now, but we will. We will. They are going to fucking bankrupt people after this. They're going to bankrupt people. They're going to destroy us with that healthcare. When I was married, I shit you not, and I don't mean this to be crass, and I'm not saying it because I don't care about people, but I said to him, if I ever get really, really sick, I'm not going to get it fixed. If I got cancer, I was like, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm just going to have it. And I'm going to die. And that's the American way. That's the American way. Like that. And that's what I had to say. I was like, I'm not going to fight it, because at the end of this, we're going to be bankrupt. We're not going to have our house. Everything we own is going to be gone. I can't with it. It's so frustrating. And I try very hard every day not to scream this shit from the rooftops. But it makes me insane that we have to risk our health, that the reason that it is spreading like wildfire in our country is because our health insurance system is hot garbage, because we literally have to go to work coughing and sneezing and snotting all over everything just to show our boss that we're actually sick, so that our boss can be the one to be like, oh, you should go home. Don't come back until you feel better. Really, they only mean like you can only be out 2 days. After that, we have a fucking problem. Like that's where it is. It's just, I don't know. I'm very frustrated because I see what's happening, and I'm so scared for all of these people who are doing everything in their power to try to stay inside. And I don't know. I am so pissed off that we live in the taxes. And that's what they keep saying, like, oh, this country pays this much taxes. This country pays this much taxes for health insurance. We pay taxes out the ass, y'all. That's a fact. We just don't see it. We don't recognize that we're paying taxes. That's the problem in America. We don't recognize that it is a tax. When I go buy this beer, it's $11.99. But once they put the taxes on it, it's $12 and some change, probably $13 when it's done. I'm paying additional taxes. I'm willing to pay that for health insurance. Like I have a job right now, and I love my job. I actually really love my job, but I don't have health insurance there. I had health insurance at my old job, but I don't have health insurance at this job. So now anything that happens, I'm like, hope it works out. I'm going to go look at the comments. Hey, COS, I didn't know you got in here. Let's unbox, y'all, said teacher, but can't afford the district insurance. So had to get independent for family. Yes. Oh, COS, we were blasting the fuck out of those trolls. That flute dude was out of hand. It was out of hand. I don't know how many emails that fool had. And also, that's the other thing. Guys, get ready, because like the trolls are out in force these days. They are totally out in force. And part of that is because they're bored. They're all bored. They have nothing to do. And so so just in case, I'm adding some moderators because my normal moderators aren't here. So I'm adding some folks. Ms. Alyssa JM said, I am fortunate with insurance and would gladly pay more to help others with it. There's literally no reason not to have health insurance for all. There's no reason. Anybody who says that the government can't do it, they've obviously not been military. They've obviously not been. I'm healthy. All my teeth are straight. That's the government. These teeth, the government. Okay? I just want you to know. All of this was all the government. My mother was in the Air Force for 20 some odd years. And the entire time I was there, I had an abscess removed. She didn't have to come out of her pocket for it. Government did it. It was fine. It's not that the government can't, it's that they won't. This system here is set up so that the poor stay poor. They don't want us, because if we're poor, if we're struggling, we're so busy trying to survive that we can't see what they're doing. That's what it is. We're so busy trying to just survive another day. We cannot see what they are doing. We cannot see how much they are holding us down. We cannot see all the fuckery that they play. We can't see it. So we're all busy trying to be like, I got bills to pay. I got this. I got to pay this. And you can't breathe because you're trying so hard. If you get me really started, I'll like lose my whole mind because I'll go in hard on welfare and really explain to you what it's actually about, because people don't understand welfare. And a lot of people haven't done any research to find out what they actually do. And the welfare queen is a fucking myth. It is a myth. It is a myth. But that is me. Like they just, all of this stuff is set up for us to not be able to make it. We are like, look at what's happening right the fuck now. The people who are working from home are now learning that it's, and they knew it anyway. It was plausible. The majority of our jobs can be done from our houses. It's ridiculous that we are forced to commute. It's actually insane. Like, why are we polluting everything when we don't have to? I'm in Texas, and in Texas, you're usually either working in Dallas or Fort Worth, sometimes Arlington. But the big places that you're going to work in the DFW area is going to be Dallas or Fort Worth. That's where you're going to work. And most people live somewhere in the middle of them. So everybody has at least a 30-minute commute in the morning and about an hour to an hour and a half getting home. It makes no sense for us to be doing this, but we do it. Why? Because oil, corn. They only started putting ethanol like in gasoline. Like they literally only started doing that because of corn. Like, what's happening here? Let me see what y'all are saying. I'm like, ugh. I got all fired up and got crazy. Nappy T, it's like people don't even realize that health should not be a for-profit sector. They don't. I don't understand it. And it's racism is what it is. It's veiled racism. And what they'll say is, I don't want non-citizens getting insurance I pay for. England don't give a fuck. Scotland don't give a fuck. Why do we? Like, what if you went overseas and you got into an accident? They're gonna help you. They're not like, you know what I mean? Like if you went to England and somebody hit you with a car, you're not gonna pay for that because that's not how their system is set up. It shouldn't be like this. This is insane. Our insurance, okay, wait, I said that. Wait, Ms. Alyssa JM, our insurance used to be so ridiculous, allowing us to get everything covered, but now we have to pay for almost everything out of pocket. Yes, they keep changing it. They literally, and that's the other thing, they keep changing what's covered. And what's worse about insurance, and I've said this before, pisses me off to no end that you show your insurance card, you pay your fucking copay, you leave, and then like a week later you got a bill. And you're like, why do I have insurance if I'm still getting a bill? And the bill is for something stupid. It's like $19. And I'm like, what? It's $19. Yeah. So COS, yeah, you can't dental is the devil. Dental will always be the devil, but there's a reason why dental is so much more difficult than medical. I'll kind of hit it just a little bit right quick. It is because unlike medical, dentists do not, they actually, and I hope this doesn't trigger anybody, but dentists have the highest rate of suicide out of everybody because dentists have to start their own practice. It's very difficult for a dentist to do like a lot of medical professionals, which is join another practice with other doctors. They all share the benefits, they all share the cost. But because of the high cost of dental school and all of the stuff that they go through, then there's really high startup costs. A lot of dentists are like, once they've gotten to where they need to get, they're not as eager anymore to have somebody come into their office and help them. So dentists, they just get the short end of the stick, and we've actually got to fix that because all of us need our teeth. Like we need our teeth. Exactly. We're so busy trying to make ends meet. Yes, T. I've thought about I get on rants with my mom and she'll be like, okay, are you all right? I'm like, no. Exactly. Discussing, Mixed Jennifer said, exactly. Discussing socioeconomic tunnel vision in my sociology class now. Yes. Texas is so spread out. Kimberly, it really is. It really is. Do you know, it can take 3 days to drive through this state, if you're ever wondering. Tree birds, and even in countries with universal health care, pharma companies are still making money. Yes. The difference is they're making money, but in a lot of places, they can't make money the way that they make money in the US. So for instance, there's a black label usage for a lot of medications. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but there's a black label usage. Basically what that says is like, if you have X medication and it's designed for headaches, but you can also use it for sleep, that's the sleep is the black label usage for it. It's not actually supposed to be for sleep, but that's how they make more money off of that medication. So what they do is they shop it around. That's why you have all those pharma people. They shop it around. And then what they do is if you're having trouble sleeping, they prescribe you this medication that isn't actually for sleep, but it's black label usage is for sleep. And so big food, and they're allowed to keep advertising to us too. So they're not allowed to do that. Like in the UK, they're not allowed to advertise on TV, and here they're allowed to advertise to us. And everyone is susceptible to that, right? Like I don't like Red Lobster, but I see a Red Lobster commercial and suddenly I want Red Lobster, even though I know I'm not going to get what I want, and I'll go there and I'm pissed. Same with medication. They'll start listing shit and like make your brain get all jacked up because they'll be like, are you tired? You're like, yeah, I'm tired. Are you tired all the time? I kind of feel like it. And it's just tricks. People would rather pay $300 a month to a private company for crap health insurance than $50 in taxes for better insurance. Yes, see, that's what kills me. As I'm like, so you do realize, and you can't even shop it. You know what I mean? Like you should literally be able to walk into a doctor's office, right? And see what the price is of their services. Like checkup. $80, that. Like you should be able to see that so that you can walk in or call them and then be like, I'm going to call somebody else. But you can't. You just have to go to the doctor and then find out the bill once you're there. And the only way that you can actually get a price is if you don't have insurance. That's fucked, ain't it? Like if you don't have insurance, you can get a price for services. You can ask like, okay, well, how much is it if I don't have insurance? And then they're all too happy to be like, oh, well, if you don't have insurance, it's $160. And you're like, how much is it with insurance? Because I know I'm paying $20, but what's happening behind the scenes? Hey, Chris. Victory begins in the garden. Keep the employer out of my personal life health care. Yes. They need to. Healthcare is a tax law. It should be. This is so insane to me. Mix Jennifer, our ambulance started charging more to people who don't live in this state. Don't visit Illinois and get in a car wreck. Ouch. That's terrible. Yeah. Victory begins in the garden. You drove through Texas. It was a bitch, wasn't it? Yes, ma'am. COS, driving through Texas is a whole experience. When I used to go, so I went to USC. When I drove there from Texas, it was rough, let me tell you, because we went down to El Paso and then over, and it was like New Mexico, then Arizona, then California. It was, but two full days was Texas. So, is it Danielle Welch? So you're saying secondary usage. So I had black label is what I had from a class that I took maybe 3 years ago. So you're right where I'm wrong now. Yes, Tiffany, those commercials are insane. Like there are people who didn't even know that they had restless leg, and I don't even know what that is. And I'm not saying it's not a thing. What I'm saying is it a thing, or is it just like the jumps that we all get when we're falling asleep? Or maybe it's just the stress that we have of not being able to ever shut down because we have to work all the time. I can't. Kelsey, hi, boo. I can't afford insurance and I can't afford to go to the doctor. It's ridiculous. Correct. Kimberly says most government and medical employees get shittier insurance than title. Oh gosh, is that a 19, Title 19, and they have to pay each check for it. Yeah, we all just have, all of us without insurance just have to hope we don't get sick. Like real talk. We're always hoping that we don't. Kelsey says, my husband choked on some food and I had to call an ambulance. They charged us almost $3,000. Yes. When I crashed my motorcycle in 2014, that ambulance ride, ooh, girl, because a lot of people don't know this about the ambulance. An ambulance is private. That's why it's so expensive. Number one, it's private. They used to work for hospitals. They don't anymore. It is now a privately held company, the majority of it. So when they come, it's hella expensive. Barry says, Canadian here, we have incredible healthcare here. Just don't rub it in. You're hurting my feelings already. Completely covered by the government. Our sales taxes are only 13%. I have no issues paying that amount because I will never get a medical bill. Thank you. And Tiffany says, and the doctors are completely in on it. You should not be able to go into an office and just ask for prescriptions. Correct. You should not. Tiffany, you should not. And Victory says, or non-24 for blind people, why do they advertise on TV? It's cool. I worked in a pharmacy for years. Yeah, so Danielle, I learned about it from a class I took, and then I watched a documentary, and he was calling it black label usage. Maybe that's their inside term. I don't know, but that's what he was calling, because he was talking about, I think I saw this on Netflix, and I wish I remember the name, but he was talking about how quickly stuff moves through getting approved now, and that they don't wait. And he really hit on the fen issue and was really talking about how that kind of happened. So that's where I think I got that from. But thank you for correcting me, because your girl just be like, listen, we all need to move but I mean, they won't let us in right now because of our shitty healthcare system. No country wants Americans coming their way. Oh, sad face. Now they're building walls against us. But yeah, I look at this and it's very sad. It's very sad. For instance, one of the biggest reasons people don't just leave their job is because of insurance. Like, you could have a job that's beating you into the ground, but you are worried about losing your insurance. So you just go, okay, well, what I'm going to do is, and you just, because there was a period of time where if you lost your job and then you started a job, then you could get your insurance back. And I think it's back to that now, where it's like you change in job status, you can get insurance back again. But here's the problem too, with the other problem with employer held insurance is the time, right? So you start work, but they're like, you don't get your insurance for 90 days. And I'm like, the fuck? What do you mean I'm not getting my insurance? I need insurance now. Like, I have high blood pressure. I am and it's hereditary. It's one of the reasons why I like to have beers. I usually have a beer a night or a glass of wine a night to just kind of help keep my blood pressure down, because I also have I'm so stupid. I'm not stupid. I just don't remember the name for it, but tachycardia. My heart gets a little crazy, which is also why I need to quit smoking. I'm working on it. Please, please. The stress is too high for me to do. I literally had every plan to stop, and then all of this blew the fuck up. But it's weird that they do that to you. I'm just just give me my insurance. And that's the problem, is it's they're wielding it over you. You start a job and it's like, thanks for starting at such and such corporation. You don't get your insurance for 90 days. And you're like, okay, but what if I get sick? I just have to, what's the plan? There isn't a plan. You just don't have insurance. Then that's why I talk about logistics so often, because that is a field where a lot of them give you your insurance up front, which is something a lot of people need. And y'all, they're about to rise up. They're already rising up, but it's about to get worse. It's going to get worse. Yeah. So the high blood pressure, people don't know this, but so for a lot of people of color, high blood pressure is actually hereditary. I have had somebody just say something completely contrary to that, and I would just want to punch them in the face, but it's okay. It's okay. But it is actually quite hereditary. Just like the dark circles under my eyes are hereditary, my high blood pressure is also hereditary. Virtually everybody in my family has it. It's just the same as my thyroid. That's why I'm like this skinny bitch, because I have a very hyperactive thyroid. And because it's so insane, food just processes through me so fast. So I go through periods where I'm intermittent fasting, and some periods where I just fast for a longer period of time just because of it. But with all these random little health things, a large amount of my anxiety actually comes from the thyroid problem. So, and the social. But anyway, the issue is the medication for that. With insurance, I can get a 3-month supply for $35, right? Without insurance, $35 is 30 days. That's what we're looking at right now. Without insurance, to get this medication, that like the gap is so wide between prescription, like when you have a prescription with insurance and a prescription without insurance. It's fucking insane. It shouldn't be like that. People should not have to like be medical test subjects so that they can afford their medications. That's insane. Let's see here. What are y'all saying? I'll abort them. Talk about nonprofit religious organizations running our healthcare in my area. The Catholics run everything. Damn. FDA approval process is bullshit. I know, Danielle, that shit is nasty. Oddly says, I'll aboard the moving to Canada train. Yes, girl. It's just too cold for my skinny ass. That's all. Mixed Jennifer, see, as far as asking for prescriptions, I'm on the other side. If they want healthcare to be a business, the customer should be right, like with other business. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Danielle, you were correct. The money is in the management and not the cure. That is why, like, we don't hear about AIDS anymore because, like, it's managed. That's why we don't hear about it. We literally don't hear about it because it's managed. Because if you ever saw that South Park episode where they go to try to find out how Magic Johnson got rid of the AIDS, and he was like, it's money. Like, there was like that episode really, oh gosh, that actually really destroyed me. It was funny, but like in a heartbreaking way. That's what folks are saying pre-Trump election. Man, the shit that they're doing is criminal. A lot of employers are trash. My employer gives you insurance the day you start, but they take it out away the day you leave. Oh, Naomi, that's terrible. Naomi, we were just talking today. You cracked me up, girl. You had me laughing out loud. So there is no plan and it's complete bullshit. Chris, there is not a plan. There really isn't. They don't know what the fuck they're going to do. But we pay for healthcare like a consumer, but then don't even get the respect a drive-through has for us. Yes, Mixed Jennifer, you are correct. That's one thing, because she was saying earlier, that's one thing I get really frustrated. If you ordered a cheeseburger at McDonald's and they gave you nuggets, people lose their minds. But we pay for healthcare like a consumer, but then don't even get the respect a drive-through has for us. You're damn right. We don't. Rebecca, hi, how are you? If they want you to work for them bad enough, you ask for immediate insurance coverage. It works, believe me. Ooh, I didn't know that. I should try that. Good night, Barry. I'm very happy for you. Take care of your baby boy. He is so cute. Their son's adorable. Unrelated thing, Treebird says, unrelated thing, but type 2 diabetes has a higher heritable component than type 1. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow. I wasn't expecting all y'all to show up, so I'm a little like fucked up on these comments. Premiums are so high, then they want more money when you go in for an appointment. Yeah, so here's the thing. Okay. So I'm going to tell y'all, if you haven't seen my video, you don't have to go watch it now, but I have anxiety. So the biggest reason I started deciding that I was going to manage my anxiety without medication was for the reason of employer-held health insurance. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I have anxiety. I was on a Class C medication, which means that they can only prescribe you a certain amount of it before you have to see the doctor. Like, it's a requirement because it's an addictive medication and people use it for whatever the fuck. I don't care. The point is, I was on my anti-anxiety meds and I started to realize after going through this like maybe 3 different times where I'd either switch jobs or insurance change or something happened where I had to go through withdrawals for a little while, like a few days. It was horrendous. It was horrendous because the medication I was on was pretty fucking intense. I'm sorry I burped. It was very, very intense. And so I decided I was done taking medication for my anxiety and I was going to learn to self-manage it because I realized I could not be in a position to either be able to pay for my medication with insurance and then or not have insurance, not be able to pay for it, especially when I had jobs that weren't paying me a lot of money. I got to grab my eye drops. These lights make my eyes dry. But especially when I was in a position like when I wasn't making a lot of money, it was rough. Like I could not afford to pay for stuff, to pay for medication without insurance. I couldn't afford it. So when I was in that position, I was like, you know what? Finally. And so I got the supervisor job and I was like, I'm done. I'm done taking this medicine. Especially when I looked at the side effects of it, I was like, ugh. And I've been off of it. Oh my gosh. Now it's been has it been an entire year? It's been 2 years. It's been a while. I think it's been, I don't know if I quit 2019 or 2018. I think it had to be 2019. I quit, but it might have been, yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is I've been off the medication and I've never been happier that I did it. Do I still have panic attacks? You're damn right I do. Do I still have anxiety beat me in the face? Yes. But I've learned a lot of self-management techniques. I've used some therapy. I've talked to therapists. Right now, I'm online with therapists or phone conferences with therapists. And I just prefer to do it that way. I was not going to ever be in a position ever again in my life where I was beholden to having to have that medication to manage my anxiety. I got panic attacks so fucking bad. It was like I couldn't breathe. Like I was, but I have since gotten past the majority of that for the most part. Like I still have them when I have like social issues that come up, but I have really good friends in person, like in real life, who help me through that. So that helps. Kara, hi boo. It's like my whole Marco Polo crew is almost here. I'm only missing Emily at this point. And Chris, I think. Oh, wait. Let me see what y'all are saying. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, like, I'm not used to having, this is like way more people in my chat than I'm normally used to having. So like, bear with me. Yo, bitch. I like that you said it that way. I can love you, Karen. Bethany says, I was born with a plethora of urinary, and first of all, good use of plethora. Anyway, I was born with a plethora of urinary and reproductive issues, just as with so many other conditions, there are certain markers that if my body doesn't comply with, I don't get effective treatments. I'm so sorry. Glam with Kelly, hi, boo. I am doing good. I just missed your last video. I know I have it like on my list to watch. Naomi, I still work for them, but I've seen what happens on the other side. Insurance is paid out to the end of the month, but for some reason they end it for employees when they leave. Yeah, it's rough. It's ugly. Victory said you can get one doctor's visit copay free per year. You need to let them know it's a wellness visit ahead of time, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, but I'm never having a wellness visit. I'm always like, I'm fucked up. Help. Oddly said, I had to decide unwillingly to not treat my mental health issues because I can't afford to see the doctor or pay for the meds. That's why I struggle. It blows that any of us have to make that decision. Yes, I'm probably going to tell a super duper personal story, and I hope y'all don't judge me for it, based on what Kelsey just said. Felicia's Follicle College. I love that name, and I can't say it, but I love it. FFC, ma'am. The ancestors who survived the Middle Passage were more likely to retain water in their. This led to HB. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that's where Kara said reading the responses to my tweet is blowing my mind. Yes, girl, you didn't know. America is a shithole when it comes to health insurance. Like, it's horrible. We're just like laying over. Like Chris Rock, I don't know, it's 20 years ago that he said this and talking about insurance. And he was like, if you don't have, like, we're all going to die, but at least if you have insurance, you're going to die in a bed. Like, that's where we are. Naomi, definitely checking your video out after this. Thank you for always sharing. Your views are always so insightful. Thank you. Stamping are in. This has been hard for so many people. Yes. I switched to vaping from smoking. I can't do the vaping. Northern Bell, hi. Oh my God, there's so many of y'all. Holy shit. There's a lot of y'all. All right. So I'm just going to say this right quick because I don't want to keep y'all here forever. It's like 11 o'clock Texas time. Central is what we're calling it. So let's see what year. It's 2020 now. In 2014, I was in a marriage with an alcoholic, which I've talked about before. And I was also in a very stressful job. At this point, I had no place to turn. Home was horrible. Work was horrible. Home was horrible. Work was horrible. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I checked myself into a mental health facility, which in Texas, and in a lot of states, it's all encompassing. It doesn't matter if you have a mental health issue or if you have a drug issue. You're all in the same place. What I learned in there, one, it's really cold. It's really very cold. Two, the way that doctors just prescribe and take away medicine is astounding. It is astounding. I had a very lovely roommate who started cutting the ever-loving shit out of herself because her doctor put her on a medication and then took her off of it. And because of the rapid switch of medication, it caused her to have some kind of psychosis issue. And she just took a razor blade and she had scars all down her arms. But she was perfectly fine. She was a perfectly lovely girl. She was so funny. I was in there with a guy who had schizophrenia. And I didn't know that. I'd never been around a person who had schizophrenia. The night and day difference between him being medicated and not being medicated, these are the things that made me really, really see how important healthcare is. Because until you go to a mental facility, I'm going to tell you, you thought, I thought I was on the side of yes, we need healthcare. I really went down there. As soon as when I left there, I was like, we fucking need this. We need healthcare. Because seeing this man he was a good man. As soon as he had his medication and started working on him, we could all have conversations with him. Up until that point, I had no idea what was happening with him. He would just spout off and none of us knew how to handle it or how to deal with it. But the worst thing I saw was this poor gentleman. He was a heroin addict. And what he was doing, I'm getting teared up. I'm sorry. He was trying to get clean for his son. And he did ruin my breakfast one day, but I ain't mad at him for it. I will never be mad at him for it. And I'm always hoping, I think about him and I'm always hoping that he made it and that he's okay. But he was there and they made him leave because he didn't have insurance. Heroin. And they made him leave because he didn't have insurance. I can't stomach that even now. I am trying to keep my shit together. I'm not going to cry on YouTube. Maybe I am, fuck it. But it really upset me because this man was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to get clean and they made him leave because he didn't have insurance. This is what we are doing in this country. We will shit on a drug addict. We will shit on people for their mental health, but we will do nothing to help them. And I'm done with that mentality. It's sickening. And I could not. And on top of that, there were people who got there after I did who were leaving before me because their insurance only covered a certain amount of days. I, at the time, had some premium mass insurance. And since I had super premium insurance, I was going to stay there all the way. And you can't check yourself out. Just so you know, when you check yourself into a mental facility, you don't get to check yourself out. But they're either going to kick you out because you don't have insurance, or they're going to keep you there for the maximum amount of days that your insurance will cover. And that's what happened to me. I started to feel better and I was like, okay, well, I just, really want to go home, get in my house. And they didn't care. And I was stuck there. So there were people who got there after me who left before me because their insurance only covered, 5 days. Their insurance only covered 4 days. My insurance seemed to cover 11 days. So I was stuck in that bitch, cold and shivering for 11 days. it's astounding and it's atrocious. It's disgusting. We have got to, I don't care what party you are a part of. Hopefully it's blue. But if you're not, you at least have to understand that healthcare has to be for everybody. People cannot, we can't continue to let people live like this. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. The fact that that guy, like, I don't know. He was trying to do the right thing, and what did he get? And we have shows like Intervention with, I have a whole other host of issues with that show because they don't ever tell people how fucking expensive those centers are. Like regular people can't afford to do that. But this should not be something that we continue to close, like turn a blind eye to, because look what's happening right now. Look at it. This could have been, like, aside from the Cheeto, this really could have been contained a lot easier if people didn't feel like they had to go to work when they were sick. If people didn't feel like they had to go to work when they were like, I don't feel good. If people did, like, and I'm not sick, I'm just giving an example, but that's what we do. We go. I don't know if Intervention is still on, but I have a whole anger issue with that show. I had a lot of anger for that show because I was like, y'all in here acting like everybody could listen. The centers that they were sending those people to, the $3,000 a day, not a week, a day. Okay. Normal people can't afford that. And so that's the thing. People have healthcare issues and people have mental health issues, and we don't get it solved because nobody can do anything about it. Like, what can you do if you have anxiety or you feel stressed out? Yes, a day. Some of those places are $3,000 a day because they're doing yoga, there's treatments, they're also giving you medications. Yes. So like if you're coming off, so for instance, if you are a hardcore alcoholic, and I mean really hardcore alcoholic, you can't just stop drinking. And that's something that people don't like. That's why it bothers you. People say, just stop drinking. It's not that easy. People who have real alcoholism could die if they just went cold turkey and stopped drinking. Legitimately could just die, right? So when they go to these kinds of facilities, they put them on these other medications. They put them on these other medications to help them come down, because you get the shakes and all this stuff that happens from like getting off of alcohol. So it's really intense. And this is why I get mad at anybody who like talks shit. And I have a whole other thing, and I don't talk about it on this channel. I have like a super conspiracy channel that I hide out on. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that, but it does bother me because I will say that if you are addicted to legal drugs, people don't have as much sympathy for you as they do if you're addicted to illegal drugs. So you guys have said a lot of stuff, and I am still not used to all of this stuff being said. Wow, this chat is moving. Y'all are okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't vape. So Stampin', I can never say that. I always say Stampin' RN, but it's like there's a P in there, not a G. She said, be careful with vaping. I have taken care of teens with major lung damage from vaping. I won't vape. This is the thing. When I'm ready to quit smoking, it's all cold turkey. I'm not going to vape because it's not regulated. As horrible as it is, at least my tobacco is regulated, and I know what the fuck horrible shit is in it. I do not know what's in all of these vape juices, and I'm not about to take a gamble on that. I know it sounds hypocritical, but it's true. I love that you're talking about this as someone who has been in a facility. It's great that you're preaching this. I have. It was weird, and I honestly didn't. I wasn't ever positive that I was ever going to talk about it because I didn't want people to think like I'm fucking crazy. I am. They don't even let you smoke in there. It was horrible. I was like, can you just let me smoke? Can you just let me smoke? Or have coffee? You can't have coffee or cigarettes. It was a bitch. I was like, I can't have coffee. Being in a mental health facility really opened my eyes to a lot. Yes, Kelsey, it does. because a lot of people, I think of them in the old school days where like mental health was one thing and then like there's a drug addiction place. They're not. They're all in the same place. Like it's all literally the same joint. So you're over here struggling with anxiety and that was and all of this other stuff. And that's why it was so hard at first to deal with the gentleman who was schizophrenic, because I'm already like, and then he's just being like, oh, and I'm like, ugh. Not, and he wasn't like what I mean by that is he was saying stuff that didn't make sense, and he was starting conversations or in the middle of a conversation that the rest of us weren't in. So it just stressed me out. So like, and it wasn't his fault. It's the fact that we don't even have a separation between them. We need good mental health care. Yes, we do. And it needs to not always just revolve around pills, although medication is needed for people. We need to do both the medication and things to help people to be able to work through things when the medication isn't there. For instance, like a Xanax usually takes 15 minutes to kick in for most people. So if you are starting to have a panic attack, a lot of times by the time you take the Xanax, you're still going to have a panic attack because it's not going to get into your system fast enough to stop the panic attack. So I was on something called Klonopin, and what that did is it basically stopped panic attacks from happening at all. For me, it just stopped them from happening. But the issue with either one is that they are habit forming, and it's prescribed, but they're habit forming. Government makes it so easy to get guns, but not healthcare. I don't understand it. Kara, I don't either. And if you try to do anything to like say, especially in America, if you try to do anything to say like, okay, but we need to like do something here. Either we regulate this or we regulate that. They're like, no, we're going to have our guns. And you're like, okay, sorry. I still haven't mentally recovered from being in there and seeing the things I saw and how patients were treated. It was so bad. I hope to be able one day to tell my story. It's so fucked up. I hope so too, Kelsey. We also need people in the media not fear-mongering, shaming people about drug treatment for mental health conditions. Correct. Treebirds is totally right. So we have a lot of stigmatism around drug use, and people don't understand that a large amount of drug use actually comes from a lot of underlying, issues here. So like, let's not stigmatize people like that. Yeah, lots of people with mental health issues self-medicate with street drugs. Yes. I tried really hard not to cry because like I just don't want to be that person crying all the time. I think I have like a video where I did cry, and it was like that was an anxiety video, and it's hella embarrassing, but I still just did it. Mix Jennifer said, I did plenty of research and I've tried all things to quit smoking, and smoking kills 1 of 2. So my thought, as long as it's not killing 50% of its users, it's a better chance. Yeah. Fingers crossed, though, only time will tell. I will say I do enjoy not smelling like an ashtray. I am such a weird smoker in that I fucking hate the smell of smoke. I do everything in my power to not smell like it. And I've had people who, like at work, would finally see me out smoking, and they'd be like, I didn't know you smoked. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you don't look like a smoker and you don't smell like one. I'm like, I know, I'm kind of adamant about it. I hate it, actually. I hate smoking, but it's like the last thing I have to help me with my stress, because I don't eat. When I'm stressed, I don't eat. So I'm not a stress eater. I don't stress drink. I have to have something. I don't want to work out too much, because like this little tiny frame filled with muscles might be a little awkward. It is so cold. The mental health care, Glam with Kelly said, the mental health care is so needed, and it's a major part that's completely lacking any support. Michigan is horrendous. Yes. Insurance should not be making medical decisions. Exactly. Like so one of my best friends in real life, her husband is a doctor, and he was telling her, and like, she was telling me that he was telling her that like a lot of the doctors get together and they talk about how when people ask them about being a doctor, how they are sad to have to say like, I mean, just don't. Because you can't, in America, you don't get to do what you wanted to do. You want to take care of people. That's why you got into it. You wanted to be able to help people. Unfortunately, the insurance makes it impossible, and you have to look people in the face and tell them like, sorry, you don't have insurance, or you have a pre-existing condition. So either you find $40,000 or I can't treat you. And hardly anyone's getting tested. Yells. Audra for president. You will probably have to delete this for your own privacy. I know. 30K a month. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that shit gets out of hand. Those facilities are insane. Mental health is huge. I'm not sure how great it is in countries with universal healthcare either. Mental health has so many stigmas in society. It does. There's so much wrong with rehab centers. I could rant for days. They exploit everything in them, everything. Insurance is a racket. Oh, thank you. You're always awed by my transparency. I don't really have another way to be. I just don't. I wish that I could be like less sometimes because it would be easier, but like I'm Moss. As much as some doctors are definitely exploiting holes in the system for monetary profit, most doctors are equally fed up with our medical system. Yes, tree birds, they are. And that's, yeah, so Kara was bringing it up. Liquor stores are, in fact, considered essential. It's not just the booze factor. Like, it's not just like, part. It's also because, you know, if everything goes to shit. Also, you can make hand sanitizer out of it. I believe Tito's, like that's a Texas vodka. Tito's is making hand sanitizer. There's a lot of booze places that are doing that. Oh my gosh, there's like some, oh wow, okay. Here they come. Here come the creepers. Hey, there's Chris. Oh my God. I was not expecting. Wow. I did not, I just kind of scrolled down because I was like, whoa. So if you guys are wondering for my anxiety, if any of you have anxiety, one of the things that I do, I'm just going to throw this out there. It doesn't mean it will work for you, but it works for me. One of the things that I do when I start to feel a panic attack coming on, I don't care if I'm at work. I don't give a shit. I actually just start, I will get up, walk off, and I just start running. Like I start running. What it does, it tricks my body. It's a trick on my body. So my body stops feeling like the panic attack is coming and starts feeling like I'm working out. So then like the panic attack goes down. That's usually how I handle a large majority of the panic attacks I start getting, unless I've been drinking, in which case I can't do that. Okay, you timed me out. I'm not a troll. Go talk to 10th Man. He's from Canada. We had this discussion today. Canada pays more in taxes. You fools hate our country. I served in the Marine Corps. Oh, you're so dumb. So I love, this is the problem with America. And I'm going to say this because Kara's Canadian, okay? Kara's Canadian. This happens so often that people literally look at the top end, and I've said this before, they look at the top end of the taxes that somebody would pay in some country and they're like, yeah, Norway pays 40% in taxes. And I'm like, do they? Do they? Or is it that's the highest level? Because just like our taxes work, but I pay a certain level of taxes every year based on my salary. We have brackets, right? And then once you hit $1 million, you don't pay shit. All right, no, but the point is, it's very easy to look at another country and say like, oh, well, they pay so much in tax. It's based on salary. It's always based, like a lot of them are based on salary. Anyway, they're based on how much you make. You fall into a bracket and you pay this percentage. I would gladly pay it. I don't care. I would gladly pay it. I would gladly pay it to know that, for instance, I wanted to quit smoking. I had every intention of doing it. And then all of this shit broke out. I switched jobs. I don't have insurance. And now I can't get Chantix, which is what I was going to get, because Chantix actually works for me. And I was waiting for a little bit because I've taken it twice. Look, don't judge me. What happens is I get stressed out. I start smoking again. But in Texas, one of the reasons all of these businesses come here, they don't have to pay shit. They build here. They pay people hot garbage, and they don't have to pay anything. They don't pay taxes. They just come to Texas to pay nothing. I know it is 50% mods. I made a lot of people mods because I just always want to be prepped, because especially now, because our live streams are getting like crazy these days. So, but yeah, I legitimately did do that. So I really am just here because I don't understand this need to continuously vote against ourselves. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. The reason in America, the ability to go to college is getting harder and harder and harder to attain because you just can't afford it. And less people are willing to take out $50,000 in loans and start out their lives in debt. That being said, because less and less people have been able to afford to go to college, we're seeing that what the conservatives do very, very well is language. And what the Democrats don't do well is language. So what the biggest reason that people vote against their interests is because these guys over here are able to use language against them, and they're able to use things against them that they have no idea is actually not for them. Death taxes aren't for you. You know, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. I don't foresee that anyone is going to be leaving me $2 million that I need to be worried about taxes on. And even so, why wouldn't I pay taxes on it? It's not actually money I earned. I didn't earn that money. So they use language against people, and they use what I like to call the dumbing down, or other people do too, the dumbing down of Americans, to trick them into voting against their own interests every time. Because you have one side that seems intelligent, which they use to say that they're elitists, right? These elitists want you to do da 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 da. And because you may not be as well educated, and you feel like this person over here is speaking down to you, even though that was never their intent, they're just using words that they learned in school. But it makes you feel better because you don't necessarily have that education, and you haven't either been able to or bothered to further educate yourself. And since you haven't done that, you allow these people over here to make you feel really good about being dumb. You're like, yeah, I'm dumb, and I like being dumb, and I don't care that I'm dumb. And so you continue that life, and all the while, they are literally sucking the life out of you. It reminds me of this Creep Show episode. It's a new Creep Show episode, but these people wanted to lose weight really, really fucking bad. And there was this slug thing that they found in the Amazon, and you put it on you and it sucked all the fat out, and nobody even cared. They were like, yeah, one guy was skeptical and he was afraid to use it. And finally he decides that he is going to try it after he sees this one lady who was also bloop with him. I use bloop because I don't want to say anything that really pisses anybody off, but she was bloop with him. They were both plus size people. And so he sees her and he's like, all right. And she's like, yeah, come on the show. So he's going to come on the show, and he's going to have the procedure done on the show with the worm and all this stuff. Gets on the show, and there's a full moon or some shit. It's an eclipse. There's an eclipse. And all of the people who had the procedure done, they were all skinny. They were all skinny now. And as the eclipse takes place, all the people who had the procedure done, they didn't ask any questions about the fat being sucked out of them. And because they weren't asking any questions, because they looked the way they wanted to look, they didn't realize that the worms were putting babies in them. So they all exploded. Of course, I'm going to relate this to horror. They all exploded with worms. They all died. And you know who didn't? The fat guy who didn't want to have the procedure done, who was skeptical. And that's what this reminds me of. It's like these people allow the worm to suck on them, and they don't really understand that they're putting babies in you, and you're going to explode, and it's going to be horrible. Like that. Those are the rules. And they do this stuff all the time. They do this there's so many jobs where they teach you how to encourage people to not want a union, when unions are the very reason that we got a 5-day work week, that we got the 40-hour work week, that we stopped saying that a 9-year-old should work in a mine. It's unions that did that. UPS still has a union, y'all, and it's bomb. If you just have to be able to make it through a whole year of employment. And after you hit that year, Your health insurance is paid for. You don't even pay for it. You don't even pay for it. They pay for it. They have a union. Yeah, that's how it works. So it's some pretty intense shit. Like, I just wanted to leave y'all with that. Like, they're being able to use language is magic, but the problem is you have so many people who aren't who don't know, and at this point are in fact kind of willfully ignorant, and they prefer to be willfully ignorant. And I get it to a degree. I get why you would want to be willfully ignorant, because it makes life easier on you. You don't have to think too hard. You don't have to work too hard. But all right, so I'm going to read a couple comments, and then I'm going to go and like drink like a normal person. Your sales tax is much higher. That's what Kara said, but income tax isn't. $15 an hour is in Amazon Pay, but they brought it up so that they could cut people's long-term pay raises. Yeah, so Fashion, Natesta, they, them. All right, got you. Yeah, so there were other benefits that Amazon had that were better. So they had some 401k matches, and they had these other really badass bonuses that they gave you, but they took all of that away and made it $15 an hour. So the $15 an hour is not great, because they were paying you, I think it was $11 or $12 an hour. But when I went, but I had all these other benefits, which made it kind of worthwhile. But when they snatched those up, like, and I remember that because I was at Chewy when that went down. I was like, oh fuck no, I would not go back there without those benefits. Chantix made me throw up, but it did curb cravings when I could keep it down. I actually never had any problems with Chantix, and all these people had these issues, and it's weird. Cannabis greatly helps manage my endometriosis, PCOS pain, and has kept me from using opioids. Oh, nice. Bless our governor for deeming weed essential, and bless dispensary workers for coming to work. That's amazing, Bethany. Actually, yes, I do feel the same way, but I can only do it in edibles. I cannot smoke. I absolutely cannot smoke. It makes my anxiety so bad if I smoke, and also it makes me throw up. The really rich also do not pay shit as far as taxes. Correct. They know how to hide their money, and they're very good at doing so. Northern Bell, I would pay it too so that everyone can have health care. That would be good for all of us to have less unrelated illness in our midst. Yes. Also, young women would be able to women would be able to find out earlier whether or not they could or could not have children, and could make good decisions on what they wanted to do instead of rushed, scary decisions. Still a smoker, but I'm down from a pack a day to 2 to 3 cigarettes a day. Oh, well, good for you, Chris. I'm stress smoking a lot right now, but I have to go out in the world. So it's like, I'm terminally ill and can't get barely any healthcare or disability. America really has failed us. Oh, what do we do to Victory Begins in the Garden? She's the business. Wait, let's unhide her. She's amazing. But it's kind of double taxation. They paid money on already, so you have to pay money again. Yes. The 1% control everything and keep the rest of us divided and distracted. Exactly. It's a whole racket. Like, the whole thing is messed up. Washington Post wrote an article on this. A lot of conservatives and Trump supporters were middle-aged, well-off white men. Yes, they were, and they will continue to be. Chris, that's my struggle right now with it, and why I keep smoking cigs. Oh gosh, it just jumped. I'm back at the bottom. I'm sorry, I can't. I really tried. I tried, guys, but I couldn't. Hey, Toya. Yeah, Chris. Victory Begins in the Garden is my bitch. Like, I love her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say bitch, but like, I love her. She's very insightful and very intelligent, so I like having her. So that's really where I didn't want to stay on here too long, because really after an hour or so, it seems like the chat really starts to lag for you guys and it gets all fucked up. So when do I normally do lives? Well, I haven't decided on a time, but I think I'm going to start trying to do them on Saturdays, because weekdays are actually pretty hard for me. Like, I can do them sometimes, but I don't want to commit to a weekday because I have a full-time job. And with my full-time job, a lot of times what I'm doing is I actually edit videos on the week. Like I edit it on the weekday and upload it. So it's like I edit like tomorrow I'll have something. I should have a video up tomorrow. We'll see. It might be Monday. But a lot of what I do is I edit and then I upload. Like I do all my filming. I do as much as I can during the weekend. And then I do all my editing and uploading during the week. So I don't want to commit to doing a weekday live because I'm massively stressed about like, okay, well, if I get off work and I edit this video and I'm supposed to be here and then I won't make it. So I think I might start doing Saturdays. T saying hi. But I think if you guys like, maybe I'll put a vote up on my community page, my community tab. Y'all bear with me on that community tab. I just now realized it works. Like, holy shit, Kate's here. I got T and Kate in my chat. Like I can't even. Thank you. It was a trick. The eyeshadow it was a trick. I actually started out trying to use that like abominable BoxyCharm because here's what happened is last night I was pretty smashed because I was dancing the night away. T knows what's up. I was dancing because there was a live DJ. It was the shit, y'all, and it was amazing, and I was having such a good time. And then while I was dancing and getting excited and getting my drink on, I was like, ooh, and I got all excited about that damn BoxyCharm palette. Like, y'all, I thought it was different colors. I started trying to put it on my face. I was like, no. And then I dipped into my colored rain. So half naked dancing and eating pizza. Your girl was just like, oh my God, T. I had like, cause y'all, if y'all don't know, I live a braless life. I got small itty bitties. So I had like twisted, I was looking all kinds of crazy. I live in layers. So I had all my layers off. I had a tank top. I was sweating. I took my pants off. My hair was wild. I was having a time. It was amazing. Oh my gosh. Hi, Britt. Thank you. All y'all are being so nice with my eyeshadow. I literally do. Listen, I don't actually have any eyeshadow skill. I just make like, I just try to do something super simple that like looks okay. I know everybody is here. Like y'all are making me smile so big and like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm getting like awkward as fuck now. I'm like, everybody's here. Listen, I gave up a bra. So if y'all haven't seen it, like here's a quick braless life update. Initially, they kind of went, phew, but then they went, and now they perky. I don't even know what happened, but they perky. I be hopping and dancing and having a good time. And now they're just like back. I go to work without a bra. I just stopped. I gave up the bra. I said, fuck you, bra. No, we're not doing it. And I just continue to live my braless life and I am having a great time. Also, I'm wearing a Jason tank top because I love Jason. So they really don't jiggle as much as you think they do, Michelle. I promise you. Like it's all in our heads. We get like stressed out about our jiggle. And like, I do get some jiggle. I don't even care now. It becomes so normal to have your like little jiggle and your stuff. It stops bothering you. You are only self-conscious of it because other people have made you feel like you should be self-conscious about it. And you're like, as soon as you get used to it, you don't notice. If anybody's looking, you don't notice. It never becomes a thing anymore. It just like whether they're big, small, or in between, let them be free. Just like, let them be free. It's just, there's no reason. I just feel like there's no reason for us to like be stressed out in this because not like I'm going to have a daughter because I don't want children. Thank you. But when I was growing up, I always felt like if I was going to have a daughter. I want her to grow up feeling confident with her body. And I didn't want her to grow up feeling like she had to put that thing on. Like the, because it's like we don't make dudes cover up their carrot. We call it a carrot. We don't make them like wear some kind of carrot receptacle to keep them from chubbing out. Like we don't make them do anything. But the second you get like the inkling of a hump, we just strap these things in. It's ridiculous. Britt said, people are so judgy about the titty jiggle. They sure are. Kara C, going downstairs without a bra will result in bruises on my face. Don't hop so much, Kara. Be gentle. Be easy. Tank tops are amazing for layering. Yes, and that's what I use them for. Like if I have a shirt that's a little too thin, I use a tank top and then put a top on top, put a different top on it, and then it's like, what? And I've been getting these amazing Walmart tanks. Y'all, oh, things got weird in my Walmart. I literally, like I was in a Marco Polo today talking to my friends, and I was telling them how I didn't realize that shit had gotten weird because I'm not in the world. I go to work and I come home. I go to work, I come home. I go to work, I come home. That's what I've been doing. So this morning I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Walmart because I had to. It's Shark Week. I had to go. And I did not realize that Texas had completely done like a 180 on the situation. And I was wearing a mask. Like I put a kerchief on and I was like, I may as well put the kerchief on mostly because I hadn't brushed my teeth yet, but I wanted to eat breakfast first. Moving on. I wanted to eat breakfast first and then brush my teeth. I'm weird about like my food not tasting like toothpaste. So I was like, oh, I'll just put this on. Everybody was wearing them. It was insane. The only reason I put a padded bra on is to play my linebacker shoulders. Girl, you know what? I don't care. Just let them be free. Just be like, bam. We really should make some guys strap it down. I'm just saying. Fashion Natesta, they, them. Also, tits shouldn't be sexualized. Thank you. Because I'm going to do another live. I think next Saturday I'm going to do a live stream and we're going to talk about Facebook and why I hate it. Chris, yes, it is Shark Week. So so I live in a really kind of like, I don't know how I got here, but I live in a bit of a shishi neighborhood. I don't know how they let me slip through, but I live in like a shishi town. And in my shishi town, this Walmart is the most immaculate Walmart I have ever been in my life. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. But they have started like one side, like, you know how there's two sides, there's the home and grocery and then and pharmacy, and then there's like whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's two sides. So one side is completely blocked off. You cannot go in that way. The other side, you can only walk in one way and exit one way, and they're counting people as they come in. So that was really crazy. Mixed Jennifer, I had breast cancer and reconstruction, so these babies will be perky long after I'm not. See, that's how you silver lining it. That's what I said. I silver lining this whole thing. And I'm going to go. I swear I have to go. Y'all are just like, there's too many of y'all, and it's so awesome. Not too many, but like, I'm not used to having this many y'all. It's like, whoa. And also I've been here for like 1 hour and 17 minutes. But the silver lining of this, as a Black woman, a Black person, a person of color, I walked outside today in a hoodie and a kerchief across my face. And I did not have to worry about any kind of violence being done against me and anybody being worried about me. Nobody was scared. So silver lining, it was okay. But everybody was wearing the mask. It was really weird. Like women getting shamed for breastfeeding in public. Yes. Okay. We're going to have to talk about that at another time. We're definitely going to have to talk about that because that just drives me fucking mad. Like, stop doing that. That is so ridiculous. We should not be shaming women for doing, like, who? And people will be like, well, I mean, I don't mind if you breastfeed, but like, do you have to do it in public? And I'm like, but I'm eating in public. Like, that's how I look at it. I'm like, I am eating in public too. Why would the baby, like, why should a breastfeeding mother get up from the table that she's at with a screaming baby who's already upset. Get up, find a place to try to go. Why should she go into a dirty ass bathroom to feed her child? Like germs, y'all germs. That's all I'm saying. Like germs. The bathroom is like, and most public restrooms do not have the seat down option. So them germs are flying all the fuck around. No, I wouldn't take, if I had a baby, I'm not taking in the bathroom for that. Get the fuck out of here. You're right. You're out of your fucking mind. There's no way. No, I'm popping my teeth out and I'm like, get some, because I'm not going in that nasty ass bathroom. I hate going in there already, but I'm an older woman. And as an older woman, you know what? You stop holding your poops. You just go when you got to go. Oh my goodness. Maybe people should care more about germs when breastfeeding now. Michelle, yes, they should, because the bathroom is gross. It's gross. Poop germs. People do have to mind their own business. And it's so weird to me that like the very same people who will say like the government shouldn't tell me what to do are also the people trying to tell me what to do. What the fuck? Like, what's wrong with you? All right, guys, I am going to go. I was supposed to have edited a video tonight and I didn't. So it's like my next video is coming up on Monday. That's going to be my bops and flops. And then I did another one and I can't remember what it was I filmed, but I filmed something else. I don't know what it was. Like I'm literally sitting here and I'm like, I filmed 2 videos today. What was the other one? I don't know. But anyway, I have some stuff coming up for you. I'm definitely trying to make sure that you guys have some fun content. I hope you enjoy. I'm learning to use my community tab. Thank you. Oh, that's what I filmed. I filmed a what's in my cart. Bitches. All right. So those are coming up Monday and Tuesday. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you. I love each and every one of you. Stay safe out there. And until next time, deuces. Bye, guys. This is awesome.